Okay, so far we've worked through the basics of modeling and we've worked through the basics of lighting. Now let's work through the basics of texturing. Okay, so I have a fresh Blender window here, and I'm going to try to recreate what we had before. I'm going to delete this starting sphere. From the top-down menu, which is 7, I'm going to add a mesh plane. Okay, we want to go back to having that tabletop. I'm going to hit S to grow it, and then I'm going to add a sphere. So I'm going to add mesh sphere. Okay. I'm going to check 1 to make sure that it's, you know, if I look at it here, it'll look like it's going through the table. Okay, because it's sitting too low on the table. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to raise it by hitting G and put it on that line where I know my tabletop is. Okay. And so now I've got the lamp, I've got the object, and I've got the plane. These are my 3 different objects. So far though, everything's been looking very silvery because they don't have any surfaces to them. It's the basic surface. Okay. The first trick that you can use if you want to make things look better is if you go into, if you're on one of the objects, so you click on the object, okay, and then you're going to go into the shading button. And before, when we were at a light, we were using this light button, but there's no lamp. We're now on an object, so we're going to do shading, and then we're going to click on this red ball. Ironic that we're changing a ball. And here we're going to add a new data block. Okay, what this is basically doing is it's adding a new material. One of the things I can do when I'm changing the material is I can change the red, green, and blue of the surface. So for example, if I wanted to make this red, just like I was with the light source, I can change the red, green, and blue of the object. Now if I render this, I'll see that I've got a red ball, whereas before it was silver. Okay. I can do the same thing with the table. So if I click on the plane that I've created, and then I go into the shading panel, and then the material button, I can add a new material. And let's say I wanted to make the table green. Okay. I'm going to do that by changing this. Okay, so now if I render it, I've got a green table and I've got a red ball.